An employee goes quiet in a meeting, arms crossed, no input. One manager thinks she's disengaged. Another thinks she's defensive. Another thinks she doesn't respect me. Same behavior, three completely different stories. And that's the problem. At work, your brain doesn't just notice what happened. It instantly builds a story about what it means. If you lead from the story instead of the reality, you can damage trust, miss the real issue, and coach the wrong thing. Your brain sees less than you think and guesses more than you realize.
Today's EQ Lab experiment. Hypothesis. Your brain invents stories about people faster than it gathers facts. Mechanism. Your perception filters reality through mental maps. Protocol. Pause. Check the story. Test the map. Let's break it down. Your brain hates blank spaces. When something is incomplete or ambiguous, your mind rushes in to fill the gap. Not with reality, with a plausible explanation. Someone goes quiet. They're checked out. Someone challenges your idea. They're difficult. Someone misses a deadline. They don't care enough. The story feels true because it arrived fast. But fast is not the same as accurate. Your brain evolved to resolve uncertainty quickly. In ambiguous situations, the brain prefers a fast explanation over an accurate one. And in leadership, a quick wrong story is often more dangerous than no story at all. Here's the uncomfortable part. You are never responding to all of reality. You're responding to a filtered version. Your brain notices some things, ignores most things, and turns the leftovers into a story that feels complete. That story becomes your mood. Your mood shapes your tone. Your tone changes the conversation. And suddenly you think you're managing the person, when really you're managing your interpretation of them. Two leaders can watch the same employee and reach completely different conclusions. Not because the facts were different, because their maps were different. You don't lead from reality. You lead from your map of reality.
Some of the strongest filters are invisible. Here are two that shape leadership every day: toward versus away. Some leaders think primarily in terms of goals. What are we building? What are we trying to create? Others think primarily in terms of risk. What could go wrong? What needs to be prevented? Neither is wrong. But if you're strongly away-focused, your brain scans constantly for problems. A quiet employee becomes a warning sign. A missed detail becomes a threat. A challenge becomes resistance. Away-focused leaders can be excellent in a crisis, but if they stay in firefighting mode, they start coaching people on danger instead of direction.
Some people know they've done well internally. They finish the work and move on. Others rely more on external signals, feedback, recognition, clear responses from their manager. If you're highly internal, you might think, I gave them freedom. Why are they unsure? If they're more external, they may think, I have no idea where I stand. Same team, same manager, different maps. Once your brain picks a story, you start behaving as if it's true. If you decide someone is disengaged, your tone changes. You invite them in less. Your responses get shorter. They feel it. They withdraw even more. Now the story looks confirmed. But really, you helped create the result. That's how smart leaders accidentally train people into the behavior they were afraid of. Story to tone, to behavior, to proof. So what do high EQ leaders do instead? They don't pretend they have no reactions. They just get better at catching the story before it hardens into truth. Here's the protocol. Step 1. Pause. Just enough space to stop your first interpretation from becoming your leadership strategy. 1 breath. 6 seconds. Long enough to keep your thinking brain online. Step 2. Check the story. Ask yourself, what am I assuming right now, and what evidence do I actually have? She's disengaged. He's defensive. They don't respect me. That story may be right, but it hasn't earned the right to be treated like a fact yet. Step 3. Test the map. Now give reality a chance to correct you. Ask one question. I noticed you were quiet in the meeting. What was going on for you? What's your read on that discussion? What's making this harder than it looks from my side? Ask to learn, not to confirm.
Let's go back to the start. Quiet in the meeting, arms crossed, no input. Old move. She's disengaged. New move. Pause. Check the story. Test the map. Now you discover something real. Not disengagement, uncertainty, not resistance. A lack of psychological safety. Same employee, better map, better leadership.
Your brain will always make fast stories about people. That's normal. Leadership starts the moment you stop trusting the first story your brain tells you. Pause. Check the story. Test the map. Try it this week with one person you think you've already figured out. Hey, if there's a leadership situation you'd like us to break down next, leave it in the comments. And if you want more EQ Lab experiments on how leaders think, react, and make better decisions under pressure, subscribe to EQ Academy. We'll build the protocol together. This is EQ Lab. Don't just trust the story, test the map.
So, tell me what was happening from your side.
It wasn't that I was disengaged, I just had too much on my plate.